Come on, let's get into this one. Let's get into this one. WoW boosting. Blizzard is literally killing the game, bro. Quick. Do you see his tweet? He made a tweet about how he's gonna do a heroic Sylvanas boost or some shit. I am outraged. I am infuriated. He should quit. He should be fired. He shouldn't be able to send his kid to college. His favorite kid, of course. You're not sending the other three, dude. It's not worth it. Too much money. He shouldn't be able to have a pension. Grow old alone and die cold on the streets. He should lose his healthcare. Yeah, oh, absolutely, he should lose his healthcare because of this whole thing. Absolutely. Yeah, this guy needs to lose his salary. This guy needs to go. How dare he boost in the game? Guys, we're gonna be talking about WoW boosting and why it's such a hot topic right now. Everyone's kind of into this one. So, right, I'm gonna preface this video by saying I like Quick. From what I've seen of the guy, he seems cool. He seems good. You know, he's playing the game, which is great to see. He's also a co-CEO of Blizzard. So who gives a shit what he's doing with WoW, right? Like what he's in the game doing and stuff. People need to relax on that one, okay? He's not sitting down with Ian and being like, hey, Ian, I've been struggling to get the last couple pieces of my transmog for this set. Do you think we could like bring back challenge modes? Because, you know, like I need that kind of stuff. So if you could do that, that'd be great. And then Ian's like, oh yeah, right away, Quick. Yeah, I'll do that for you right now. I think that him boosting is totally fine, right? I think that it's part of the game. It's chill. It's cool. I don't think it's like bad professionalism and shit like that. I don't think any of that at all, right? I think he is well within his right to be boosting. And yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Quick, you're doing a great job. Apart from that, I would preface this video by saying I don't give a shit about boosting personally. Like, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I care about getting more Twitch Primes and more followers on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/cyberslap. That's all I care about. So, and time in the biggest keys. That's all I care about. I don't give a shit about the whole boosting thing. But I'm going to make a video on it because I think it's interesting. I think that there are two sides on this argument. And I think that people are not being respectful of one another's opinions, and everyone's just trying to make everyone else look like a clown and score some points online and stuff. So I think when it comes to the whole boosting thing, I think that ultimately boosting is bad for the game. Even though I don't care about it, I think that boosting is bad for the game. And I think that if you're saying that boosting isn't bad for the game, then either you don't know what you're talking about, or you might just be profiting from boosting. It might just be your advantage to have boosting in the game. I think ultimately the thing with boosting though is that it's not that big a deal, right? Like, yes, okay, it does have an impact on some of the gold economy, which I think is healthy in a video game, right? Like, you want movement of the economy, you want things to have value. Right now in the game, there's not a whole lot of things that have value. So I would say that boosting and getting achievements and titles and mounts and gear and stuff from getting boosted in certain environments, PvP, raids, whatever it may be, I think it's totally fine because, you know, it gives people an opportunity to make gold a lot easier than going farming thousands and thousands of herbs that they're going to lose to a bot that's doing that anyway. So I don't think that I think that boosting is like in some ways is fine with the game. I think that the problem with it, and like if we look at it right, if you're doing the race to world first, you need to be able to boost things to make enough gold so that then you can get your consumes and everything and have a competitive race. So boosting does help in that environment. It also helps a lot of guilds in general because by boosting they can get the gold back that they then need to prog in the next race and stuff, and it means that people can make money that way, which is good. They can pay their WoW time from it and all that kind of stuff because they can buy their WoW tokens. So in a way, boosting is kind of good. Like, you can see the benefits of it. But ultimately, boosting is not good for the game because of the just incessant, like, it's overtaken trade chats and general chats and all that kind of stuff. So there's less social elements in the game now. Yeah, okay, trade chat and everything was a bit of a cesspit back in the, like, before, but still, it's still a lot better. Like, whenever you go, if you go play a game from like 1998 and you go into the general chat and there's just boost, want to sell, you just think, oh, this game's dead. Like, this game's shit. Like, I want to get out of here. Because it's just, you just feel like you're in some non-social bot trash game, and that's what it feels like. It feels like you're on in a dead game for me personally. But I don't think that boosting being in trade chat is good. I also don't like when you go and sign up for a key and there's just lists of want to sell, want to sell, want to sell, want to sell, and you're trying to like navigate through all these want to sells and shit. And I don't think that that's good for the game either, because people don't want to see that. I think ultimately if Blizzard made a separate section for it, I would be chill with that, and I wouldn't mind boosting. If Blizzard just said, hey, look, here's a separate looking for group system specifically for boosting, and here is a separate trade chat specifically for boosting, let's clear it away. If we see you post in these channels or that looking for group system, then we will ban you. Only post it here. Then I think that would be fine, because then the people that want boosting can go specifically to the people that are offering the boosting, and I think that that's chill. I think that the issue with boosting is that it can, for some people, diminish what everyone's working for, or what's, you know, people are working for, right? I think it was Asmongold who made a point of, and you know, he's not the first person to think about it, but MMORPGs, the whole point of them as a game is that everyone starts at level 1 with no gold, with no gear, with just nothing. And it's about making a name for yourself, making, you know, gearing your character up and whatever, and getting these achievements and gold and whatever it is that you're trying to pursue personally, getting these things on your own back. And it's down to who can put the most hours and the most effort into it, not who's the richest in the real world, or you know, who's got this and that outside of the game. It's about all starting on a level playing field. And I think things like back in the day, gear and things, seeing people in mythic rating gear was really cool because you knew that they worked for it, you knew that they achieved it. Nowadays, you see somebody who's killed Sylvanas, and you go, well, I don't actually know if they did it, or if they just spent 5 million gold or 12 million gold or whatever on a full raid clear. You cannot be 100% sure. I think ultimately that's, like, yes, that is bad for an MMORPG. Boosting is bad for an MMORPG. But is it catastrophic? No. I don't think it's the be-all and end-all of the game, and I think that we can live with boosting. However, the biggest thing that I think is kind of wrong with the game, or the biggest issue I see in this argument, is actually the WoW token. And the WoW token doesn't necessarily, like, isn't directly affecting boosting, but it kind of is. Because when you look at the WoW token, people now can spend their real life money on getting these, on getting in-game gold, and then using that gold to buy these things that they want in-game. And we know that it happens, obviously. Like, it does happen. And a lot of people say, oh, well, I've never bought a token. I use my gold to pay for my WoW account, or this and that, whatever. Like, yes, but somebody else had to have bought that WoW token. And people are then using those WoW tokens to buy gold, and then they can use that to buy boosts and things, and then they can, like, forgo any achievement or any, you know, having to work for anything because they've just bought it instead. And I do ultimately think that that is really bad for the game for 2 reasons. First of all, it becomes pay to win. Like, the game is pay to win if a WoW token exists. If you're able to spend real life money on a currency for the for in-game, and then use that currency to buy things in-game, then the game is pay to win. And in my view, that's what WoW is. It is pay to win. Now, you could argue that the people that are, like, buying these things, well, who cares about them? They're probably Billy Who's-Its, and they're probably just getting a Sylvanas boost, and who gives a shit about heroic Sylvanas, right? Fair enough. But people could buy Mythic Sylvanas, and they could overshadow, you know, people that have been raiding for months and months because they've gone and bought it instead. So it is pay to win in that terms, or in those terms. I think the more important issue with the WoW token is that Blizzard directly benefits from the in-game currency and the in-game market and economy. Because now people are using real money to buy a token from Blizzard to then get the gold in game. So the things that they're using that gold for in the economy creates a new revenue stream for Blizzard. Now, I've been trying to talk about this on Twitter, and people have been misunderstanding what I'm saying, or I don't know, maybe they haven't been misunderstanding and they just disagree with me. But ultimately, Blizzard are incentivized to create features in the game that affect the in-game economy, right? Like this expansion, they've added legendaries, and you craft these legendaries instead of them randomly dropping. Now, isn't that interesting? Because now you're crafting them. Now there's a gold associated to them. There's work associated to them or associated with them. So now people are having to spend X amount of gold. Now it happens to be the case that people are spending hundreds of thousands of gold on these legendaries, or at least have been initially. Now, people can say, oh, well, that's player driven. The gold on that is player driven. Well, no, because they've implemented a legendary system that's craftable rather than droppable, which is what it has always been previously of this. Isn't it interesting that now that the WoW tokens are around, legendaries are now craftable? So you cannot say that, like, and the thing is, I'm not saying that 100%, oh, Blizzard did this so that then they could sell more WoW tokens. But you can't say that they didn't, because the WoW token exists. And this is my whole point, is that you cannot say that they didn't design the game in a way that increases their revenue from WoW tokens. And yes, maybe the WoW devs specifically didn't, but the guys, you know, at the top who actually, you know, the shareholders and whatnot, and you know, the guys in the suits who are trying to get the revenue flowing, they're going to encourage the devs to find new revenue sources. So I think that the point is that you cannot say that Blizzard aren't designing the game in a way that affects gold and the economy. And we look at things like legendaries as expansion. And then in 9.1, they added new legendaries and an increased legendary level. So now you're spending more gold on that. Next, 9.2, we're probably going to have to upgrade our legendaries again. Again, people might have to buy a WoW token so that they can upgrade all the legendaries on their characters and whatnot. Now, you also have things like the black market auction house, which is a system. I mean, the system's been around for a long time. I think it's been around since before the WoW token. But it incentivizes people buying gold or buying, you know, WoW tokens with real money to then buy these things on the auction house, and they increase the gold cap. Increasing the gold cap means people can charge more for items. By charging more for items, people have to buy more tokens. It, like, again, I'm just saying there's a correlation. I'm not saying it's necessarily causation, but there's a correlation between the WoW token and the in-game economy. You also have things like the auction house mount, the Brutasaur, which came into the game in BFA. 5 million gold did that cost. Now, that's a unique feature to have an auction house on a mount. It's also the one that costs 5 million gold. Now, it would cost something like £300 or something to buy that mount with real life money. Doesn't matter. Some people have that money. Some people are willing to spend that money. Some people might have to spend half that money because they've got the other half of the gold. Or some people might have to spend a few, buy a few WoW tokens with money or something like that because they've got the rest of the gold. It doesn't matter. The fact is that you can show that the WoW token incentivizes Blizzard to create new revenue streams from the in-game economy. And I think that that is bad. I think ultimately, I don't care about boosting, but if we are going to have this discussion, the WoW token is going to impact the game. There's a reason that Blizzard is currently profiting more from WoW now with lower subscribers. I think probably at like an all-time low in terms of subscribers. We don't know the exact number, but we're probably in the region of like 2 to 3 million, something like that, of subscribers. Back in the day, we had what, 11 million was the peak? How are we making more money now? It's not just all coming from in-game store mounts. You know, there's no way. It's not just coming from server transfers. There's no way. It's got to be coming from the fact that the WoW token is also an additional feature in the game, and people are using WoW tokens to then buy boosts in the game to get gear and achievements and mounts and whatever. You cannot say that there isn't a connection there. And that's the discussion point, is that now we don't know. Now when Blizzard designs a new feature, we cannot say that that feature that does have an impact on the economy wasn't designed with them making more money from the WoW token. You cannot say that because it's like if I said, hey, you have to, I'm a lawmaker, and I say, hey, you have to wear a hat. You have to specifically wear this let's not go for a red hat. Let's go for it. You have to wear this blue hat. And they say, oh, well, okay, all right, fine. We have to wear this blue hat. Where can we get this blue hat from then? Where can we buy this? Oh, well, from me. I'll sell it to you. Like, it's profiteering. They are benefiting from the fact that the WoW token exists, and then, yeah. And that's why you could argue that I think Blizzard may be less harsh on boosters and stuff. That's why we still see it in the trade chat. That's why we still see it in our looking for groups. You could say, oh, well, Blizzard aren't going to crack down on it because they're making money from people buying WoW tokens and then profiting from the boosting economy. And you can't say that they're not, because the WoW token exists. If the WoW token exists, and you can say, oh yeah, they're just not doing it because they don't want to, or because this or that, blah, 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 blah. Whole host of other reasons. The existence of the WoW token means that we don't know. The lines are blurred, I feel, anyway. But yeah, I think ultimately, who gives a shit about the WoW token and boosting and all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, dudes, we just want to see Feral Druid get buffed, right? But apart from that, leave Quick alone. Guys killing it. Try and show respect to each other online. Jesus Christ, man. Going on Twitter right now, it's a fiesta, man. What's wrong with people? Grow up. There are bigger things going on in life, all right? Start treating each other with a little bit more respect. And also subscribe to my channel on Twitch and YouTube and all that shit. All right, thanks. Peace.